Let's go. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to TD Phins Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Make sure you hit that like button on your way in the building. Let your friends and family members know about the channel as well. We're going to do a quick sound check because I disconnected all my equipment and put it back online. So if you're in the chat right now watching, just give me a you're good in the chat if you can hear me, and you can hear me just fine. All right, I'm going to wait on the confirmation from one of our members or subscribers. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me very well. All right, we live this early. Let's go. Yeah, man, we're going to start going live a lot more often early, okay? So y'all telling me in the chat we're good. All right, let's get into it. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. The Dolphins really going to cut to him? Are they really about to do this? Oh, man, this weekend, a lot of stuff came out, a lot of reports, a lot of people talking. Let me tell y'all something about the NFL Combine. I get the scoop now. First of all, I had credentials to go to the Combine, but coming fresh off of the Super Bowl and then going to the Combine from Sunday to Sunday, it was too much for me. So I did not attend the Combine, but, you know, Roundtable Sports, a company that I co-found, we attended the Combine, so we had a full team there. Ruben, Richie, Dom, Justin. I mean, so many people from the network were there. Simone, James, a lot of people from our network end up going to the Combine. And it was pretty dope, man, because the Combine is one of those things where, you know, it's not as limited as the Super Bowl. They allow a lot of people to come attend the Combine. So we had as many people as we could have there. And what happens at the Combine is not, first of all, you know, Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday, or Tuesday and Wednesday, it's the coaches and GM interviews. And then starting, I think, Wednesday or Thursday, then the players go out on the field and they start doing their thing. And they start getting measured. They start going through their drills. But what they don't tell you is, and Omar Kelly mentioned this, but we've confirmed it, at night, it's a whole different story because it doesn't end till like 8 at night. But after that, everybody's out. And this is in Indianapolis, is a dead city almost. It's like nothing going on. It's almost like a dead city. And so when the Combine comes, the very few, not few, I mean, they got plenty, but it's not like one of those live cities. So everybody's out, but everybody's out meeting with coaches, GMs, agents, and everybody's drinking. They're having a good time, but it's not a good time like partying. It's all business. It's all business. This agent's talking to that coach, this agent's talking to that GM, you know, really to me, probably that legal tampering that ain't supposed to be happening, but agents out there and players and coaches and everybody talk about they're trying to scheme, man, we want to bring him to our team and this and that. All that early work starts. All the, hey, who you think about drafting? Who's on your mind? You know, hey, we really like your client, you know, hey, let them know. You know, all of that stuff is happening. So a lot of stuff get leaked. And it's not factual. It's not factual. It's people having a good time getting a gauge on each other of what's about to happen. And basically one of the things that came out, there were a few general managers that I had already knew this, but had stated TUA is not going to have a market. Nobody's going to trade for that contract, even if the Dolphins pick up most of it. Why trade for it when they're going to have to cut him or sit him on the roster to do nothing? So why not just bring him in free agency for a cheaper price? Because he's already getting paid by the Dolphins. So he's going to end up getting cut. And they'll probably cut him, and he'll be a post-June 1st designation. And so people start coming out, oh, the Dolphins, we are expecting them to cut him. And that's where all of that came from. But it is pretty much, it makes sense. It's just common sense. The Dolphins will probably cut TUA by the third day of the league year. For those who don't know, the league year is March 11th. Okay, we are 1 week, 8 days, 9 days actually, 9 days from the opening of the new league year, which is at 4 p.m. Okay, I think it's on a Tuesday or Wednesday at 4 p.m. Okay, now they're gonna have 2 days after that to get it done. Between the 11th, I mean, they can do it now, but they're gonna have all the way up until I believe 4 p.m. or something like that on March 14th. So I think Tua's fate is officially going to be announced by March 14th. So we got 2 weeks. These are the last 2 weeks. And somebody said something to me. I don't know how true this is. It was Tua's birthday this weekend or something like that. And the Dolphins didn't put out a happy birthday. I don't know. Y'all gonna have to verify that, okay? But yeah, man, I think we're here. They are really about to cut Tua Tagovailoa. The Miami Dolphins are really legitimately about to cut Tua Tagovailoa. His time in Miami is coming to an end. And they more than likely are going to designate him a post-June 1st cut, but they will designate him that before the third day of the league year. Why? Because he also has that $3 million guaranteed that adds on to the salary if he's still on the roster on March 14th. And they'll avoid that. Why waste the $3 million? So they'll get up off of that. Oh, you think his birthday is today? Well, that'll be interesting. Yeah, come on, Miami. Send him his last birthday love. Today is his birthday. Got it. Hopefully he ain't going yet. You're still supposed to send him birthday love. So make sure that comes out today, Miami Dolphins, all right, before you get that bad vote on a report card. But yeah, man, Tua's out of there. But his replacement's revealed, man. Hey, y'all watch the combine? Did y'all watch the combine? If you watched the combine, y'all let me know in the chat right now. Who are the 2 quarterbacks that stood out in the combine? Who are the 2 quarterbacks that really stood out in the combine, man? Y'all put it in the chat. There were 2 quarterbacks that really, really stood out in the combine, okay? And I want to see if y'all got it. Y'all put it in the chat if you were a combine watcher and you took a look at the combine. What 2 quarterbacks you think stood out the most? Whoo! A lot of people saying Carson Beck. Okay. Some people saying Taylor Green. You know what? We're going to talk about Taylor Green. The 2 quarterbacks that stood out the most was Carson Beck and Tai Simpson. Taylor Green stood out because he ran a 4.36 40. That's one element. That was one element of the combine. I mean, well, his athleticism, his vertical and all of that was off the charts. But a lot of people actually knew that. We just put it on paper to say this is what people say he ran a 4.4. We already knew he was fast. But a 4.3 is generational. So a lot of people were high on Beck and Tai Simpson. A lot of people don't like Beck because of how much time he spent in college. And I don't understand it. I just feel like Beck is a solid quarterback that can be a great backup in the NFL. And I feel like he deserves to get drafted, in the later round, but get drafted. Like, I feel like he's a solidified backup. And I'm going to tell you now, there's going to be a legitimate a perennial contending team that brings in Beck. It's going to be a team like the Chiefs, there's going to be a really good team that brings in Beck and say, hey, man, we brought you in here to be a backup behind this superstar, like a Josh Allen or Mahomes or one of those guys. Something happened to them. We want to get you to the point where you can take over and help us out while they're out. I like Beck's game. Now is it generational and all that? No, but I feel like he's good enough to be good enough as a backup, but good enough not to be good enough as a starter. Like, I just feel like he's a solid quarterback. A lot of people knock on him. Okay. But Taylor Green, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. He caught my eye. He caught my eye because the athleticism I already knew was there, but just the putting it on paper, the numbers that he was able to achieve at the combine, I said, let me go do some more work on Taylor Green, because Taylor Green is a late 5th round prospect. The combine made him a mid 3rd round prospect, if you ask me. Before the combine, he was a late 5th round, early 6th round prospect. This is a fact. Taylor Green, everywhere I look, all the quote unquote experts, they got him going late 5th round, early 6th round. And after the combine, I believe his stock went as high as mid 3rd round. Mid 3rd round. Okay. But once again, back on that guy, Tai Simpson, I feel like he had one of the best combines of all quarterbacks. And a lot of people, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm getting sick of it. I'm not gonna keep arguing with people about Tai Simpson, because these are the same people I've been arguing with about Tua Tagovailoa for 6 years. Now I know some of y'all ain't high on Tai Simpson and you wasn't high on Tua. That's fine, but I'm sorry. Tai Simpson was able to literally showcase to the entire world his ball placement, which was very, very good on display. One moment. Make sure this ain't an emergency. All right, my bad. We're good. He was able to show his elite ball placement. Also, his mechanics were perfect. They were perfectly on display. Ball gets out on time. Ball gets out well. He wanted to showcase the deep ball because a lot of people were questionable about the deep ball. He was able to show everybody that his deep ball is intact. And one of the biggest things that stood out to me was his outside the number throws. The throws outside the number. It was excellent. See, when I watched the combine, I saw guys do this well. I saw some guys do that well. I saw some guys do that well, but struggled at that. I'm sorry. Tai Simpson, I didn't see any struggle. You know how I always compare it for y'all? Like, okay, his short throws were 8 out of 10. This guy's intermediate was 6 out of 10, but his deep ball was 10 out of 10. It's always he's elite there, but he's average there, and he's okay there. Tai Simpson was just 8.5 across the entire board. Deep ball was 8.5. Intermediate was 10 out of 10, by the way. Short passes, 9 out of 10. Mechanics, 10 out of 10. Ball placement, 9 out of 10. Accuracy in the intermediate was flawless. Like, his stock rose. I said, you know what? To me, his stock is risen. Everybody has tried to have Tai Simpson a late 2nd round prospect all this time. I've always felt like he was a late 1st round prospect. So I checked this morning because I already knew I was doing this stream last night. I said, let me go because the combine is over. I know articles are out everywhere. I type in Tai Simpson stock, and now everybody changes their tune. Now all the experts that gets their eyes on him, they're all changing their tunes now. Now he's a late 1st round prospect. Now some articles say they believe he can go as high as 11 to Miami, but likely at 13 to Pittsburgh. I mean, not Pittsburgh, but the Rams. But the Pittsburgh Steelers hoping that he falls enough to them. These are all these articles that the stock has risen. Now you get all these articles about the stock has risen. So I'm trying to tell y'all, I've seen enough to know that the upside on this kid is immense and he can do nothing but get better. And you know, and here's the funny part to me. People and I'm not pointing this at anyone in particular, but it's just something that I feel like I'm recognizing in society today. People really do have a hard time processing multiple factors at once. Multiple factors at once. What do I mean by that? When you look at Tai Simpson, if he was a 4-year starter with what he's already done, he would be a 3rd-round prospect to me. If he was a 4-year starter and he had did every year what he did last year, he would be a 3rd-round prospect to me. I would not be talking like this. I would not. At all. But why is it that everybody dismisses this, right? This is what they dismiss. They hold this against him. He doesn't have a lot of starts in college. 15 games isn't enough. Why does everyone look at that only negatively? You don't see the positive in that? Like, you got 15 starts and this was his starting parameter? Like what world do some of y'all live in? Is it supposed to be, well, whatever you are is your first starts? You're not going to get better than that. Is that what the new rule is? You don't see the crazy upside? The mechanics already there? The footwork already there? Pocket presence? The intermediate accuracy? Can throw outside the numbers? Showed everybody at the combine. Y'all worried about my deep ball, but I'm fine on that. Ball placement, and I always used to tell y'all that with Tua. Tua can get the ball there, but ball placement is important for Yak. And all of this, and it's impressive, and only 15 starts. That's not enough to make your mind up on who he's going to be in the NFL, but it's also enough to recognize he has more upside. So why is everybody betting on what you've seen already being his ceiling? That's kind of what it is. Like, let me ask y'all a question. What you've seen from Tai Simpson in 15 starts in college football with the Alabama team who literally fell apart after week 8. And Tai Simpson got banged up too. But after week 8, the receivers were no good. The O-line was no good. The run game was no good. The guy was the Heisman leader. He was the Heisman front runner in week 8. And the team didn't fall off because of him. But I got to ask this, and I want a simple yes or no. You don't have to even elaborate. Are you all telling me that what you saw from Tai Simpson at Alabama, that's his ceiling? Yes or no? Are you telling me that's his ceiling? Yes or no? I need some answers in the chat. I really got to understand this logic. I really got to understand this logic. No, yes. No, but not worth the risk, honestly. Yes. Here's what's funny to me. Here's what's funny to me. He's not worth the risk, but he has the highest upside than any prospect coming out. You can't tell me another quarterback that got higher upside, especially when they've already had 3-4 years starting in college. Now, I see the people in the comment section. I don't trust Alabama quarterbacks. I mean, I get it. I've been saying that for years now because of Tua. But, I mean, we got to be adults about this and be fair. TD, it's not that you're wrong completely, but there's better QBs like Drew Aller. I've been looking at Drew Aller, and I like his skill set as well. But I'm sorry, I don't see much more upside. I don't see much more upside. And I need a lot more upside on Drew Aller to be elite in the NFL. He's good, but without immense upside, I don't know if that's going to be enough. See, when I look at Drew Aller, I look at success in the NFL like Matt Moore and guys like that. Hey, y'all some good quarterbacks, but y'all ain't NFL starters. And I'm not saying Tai Simpson is an NFL starter, but his upside says he could be because there's immense upside. Taylor Green ain't got no more upside. You know what? I'm going to be quite honest with y'all. You know, I've been trying to root for Taylor Green, and I'm going to go look at some more film. But I'm sorry, I'm not just going to get intrigued by just the athleticism. Can you tell me what else he does that's elite? What else does he does that's elite? You're going to be real hard-pressed to find those intangibles and put them on me. Because there's a reason he's a late 5th round, early 6th round prospect. Now, his physical stature, yeah. He got the what is he, 6'6", 225, 227? Oh, yeah, he got the physical stature. Yeah, but there's a reason why he's a early 6th, late 5th round prospect. There's a reason. Can he be the next Lamar? Because Lamar wasn't the best of passers coming in the league, but he was able to develop and improve people wrong on that. Can he be the next guy like that? Maybe, but come on, man. I see a guy who's just athletic. And he can play the position. I mean, he's a quarterback. But y'all, we got to stop this, man. We got to stop this. Somebody asked, do I like the size of Tai Simpson? It's not my most favorable trait. I think he's 6'2", but that passes my score. That passes my test. I would love for him to be 6'3", 6'6", 6'4", but he not. And let's be honest, this time of the year, a lot of y'all have y'all favorite guy. Some of y'all were fans of him in college. Here's the beauty for me. I wasn't a fan of none of them. And not even Beck, and I'm a UM fan. I ain't a fan of not a single college player, not one player. There ain't a player in college, oh, yeah, that's my guy. I ain't invested in none of. So trust me when I tell y'all, I know without a shadow of a doubt, half of y'all are invested in certain players because you like them. TD not liking Green. I didn't say I didn't like Green. I just said when I look at all the intangibles from the top to the bottom, I'm not going to be enamored off of just physical traits. I'm not. And let me say another thing. Man, I'm telling y'all now, man. Tell y'all now. It's players like Tai Simpson that y'all can act like that all y'all want, but that kid coming to the league and go to Pittsburgh, go to the Rams, or go wherever, and he end up being another version of a Brock Purdy or whoever that has a Bo Nix that has some success, and we sitting here looking dumb boo-boo the fool again. Man, listen, pay attention to the intangibles. Pay attention to the intangibles. I don't care how great you were in college. Pay attention to the intangibles, because when you get to the NFL, they are going to take your intangibles and make you a player. They're not going to take your baller ability in college and make you a player. They're going to take your intangibles, man. I don't care if you balled out in college. How do those things translate to the NFL game? There are slight differences between the NFL and college game, man. Certain things have to be pristine. Y'all think that like Do you know how big of a difference it is for something as simple as 1 foot down versus 2 is in the NFL for a quarterback? Do you know how many completions college quarterbacks get off of 1 foot inbounds? But if that same quarterback was in the NFL, they look like a bum because their completion percentage would drop by 10%. Because ball placement in the NFL is a little bit more important. Like, and that's just one thing. That's one example. One example, y'all, but guess what? You're hyped up because look at his college stats. Look at what he was able to do in college. Ooh, look how he drove him all the way down the field. Oh, no. But on 3rd and 9, he got that first down from a 1 foot in. That ain't happening in the NFL. That's a punt. That's why y'all gotta stop looking at this success in college, man. Success in college does not tell you they're gonna have success in the NFL. And half of the people y'all rave about got a loaded team around them. Oh my gosh, man. This is not the same Alabama team that Tua Tagovailoa was blessed with. You tell me the 5 elite wide receivers Tai Simpson had. You tell me the top running back he had. You tell me the top O-line Tai Simpson had. This is not the same hidden good play. Taking Tai Simpson at 11 works for me. And here's the caveat. Let me help y'all understand something. I'm not even really that much in favor of taking him at 11. I'm trade down and hopefully he's still there and grab him in the early 20s. Because there is unknown. I'm not saying he's a finished product. I want Quinn Ewers to have the best competition he can have. I want Quinn Ewers to have a guy in the room competing against him that's probably supposed to, from a prospect standpoint, be better. Don't bring me nobody that ain't better than Quinn Ewers in this building. And don't get me wrong, Quinn Ewers, before all the stuff that went down with him, he was a high prospect. But I need him to have legitimate competition, not these 3rd, 4th, 5th round picks. And I know where Ewers went in the draft too, so y'all think it's comparable, but Ewers would have been a higher draft pick had those things not transpired that they did. Like, I have zero vested interest on any of these quarterbacks. For me to just be fanboying over 1 or 2 and be like, no, guys. I have zero vested interest to care about a Tai Simpson or a Taylor Green or Aller or Beck. I have zero. And now I'm a Hurricanes fan, but we already know Beck ain't better than most of these guys. In the upside, there ain't no more. So that makes it easy for me not to be biased. So all I'm saying is I don't care about what you did in college. Now I'm going to take a look at your intangibles, your mechanics, and all the skill sets. That's what, when you look at film, oh my gosh, look at this elite play. Man, how did you come out of that snap? How was your footwork? How was your pocket management? How was your release? How was your ball placement? See, y'all don't understand. When I evaluate film, a guy can go and play action, avoid a sack, throw it down the field, get a touchdown, and it could be a bad play for me. Success for the team, but you know what I saw? Man, the receiver had his guy beat by 10 feet. You threw the football, and this wasn't a Hail Mary. You threw the football, and by the time it got to your receiver's hand, it was only 2 feet separation, and he went in for the touchdown. But in the NFL, it ain't going to start out with 10 feet separation. It might be 6, but you throw that same football, and we got a pick in the NFL. But y'all just like, oh, look at this touchdown. Look at that touchdown. Y'all can care less about the intangibles of the play. Pre-snap on the same play. The slot blitz literally was showing. You even looked at it. Now, good job avoiding it. But come on, man, is there something you can get into? Is there a protection that could have been called? Like I'm looking at all of that stuff, man. That's why you miss me with this guy is the guy. Go look at his tape, man. He's doing crazy things. Man, y'all looking at highlights, completions, scores. I'm looking at intangibles that's going to transfer into the NFL. This is why. And yeah, we probably going to, I don't care. Y'all get mad all y'all want, but we probably going to use Tua Tagovailoa as an example for a long time, okay? But this is why I saw what 80% of people didn't see, and then they try to accuse me, you know nothing about what you're talking about. When I kept talking about spot throwing, it's a touchdown and you're complaining. It's a this and that. Because all this stuff matters for your long-term success of whether or not you're going to make it in this league and can team scheme against you. Nobody had ever heard of, did y'all ever really truly hear about spot throwing before we start bringing that up about Tua? Did you really hear that as a common term at all? Did you ever really hear about it? And I used to tell people, this is what I saw from the college film. I saw it on college film, and this is why I look for evidence, and we literally got other team defenders that beat them, Clemson and all of those guys in interviews. Like I showed them in the early days, I showed the interviews on my channel trying to prove to people, trying to help them see what I saw. But for some reason, people just, I'm supposed to listen to you more than the experts. No, you're not, but look where it got you. And I used to say, look at this film from college. Do you see this guy coming across the middle, wide open? And you see when Tua throws the ball, he has to slow down and reach behind him and catch it, and then he gets tackled right away. The defender literally was like 6 feet behind him. This is a touchdown, rolled up the field if you put the ball placement where it's supposed to be. But no, y'all want to pay attention to the fact that we got a 12-play drive for a touchdown going all the way down, and Tua 6 for 7, and it's just amazing. And y'all can care less about the ball placement. Well, guess what? In the NFL, that's going to matter. And let me tell you what was the most deceitful thing about Tua Tagovailoa in Miami. His intangibles of playing the game. Ladies and gentlemen, when you spot throw, right? You put the ball in a spot. That spot, it's going to be there no matter what. That's the spot. And the receiver, if the timing is perfect, they just going to come by and bam, we're in sync. Let's go. But what happens that made people think that he was just like, this is what people would say, man, his accuracy is like unreal, because it ain't real. Like people thought the accuracy in placing a football it's out of this world. Here's why they thought that. Because when you put it in a spot and defenders don't know what's happening, defenders will see it, but they too late because it's in a spot. They'll reach for it, and it'll slide by the defender's hand that close. Look how he squeezed it in there. Listen, he wasn't intentionally squeezing nothing in nowhere. He was just putting it in the spot. It looks elite. It looks like, oh my gosh, he saw the two defenders, and he just got, man, it shocked the defenders that he threw it most of the time. But it looks elite. Because when it works, it looks elite, because you got defenders right there and they're like, oh, the ball, oh, dang, it got just past me. But he did that intentionally. Look at how he put it here, and look at how he did that, and look at how this is next level. How you go from being next level, generational, nobody's ever been doing it like this, to now you can't even find a trade partner. And most of the coaches and GMs in the NFL already knew this. They already knew this. This is why coaches around the NFL said, you got to prepare for 10 and 17. You're not really concerned about the quarterback. You got to make sure you don't let them get to the spots. Because there is no defense against spots, because you know the spot, but they don't. But why did it stop working? Because, hey, we don't need to work dumb. Let's just work smart. You can't take away somebody's spot, but you can take away the person that's supposed to meet it there. And that's all. That's the new game plan for the last 2.5 years against Miami. Just reroute Tyreek and Waddle, mess up their spots. Why do you think other guys finally started to go off? We ain't had good tight end play until the last 2 years when they start taking Waddle and Tyreek out of the picture. Now you got running backs catching the ball all over the place, tight ends, because people ain't game planning for them. They just making sure that the flow of this offense gets stagnant by taking Tyreek and Waddle out of the timing. But y'all still thought he was elite. Oh, look, man, Waller and Jonnu, they balling. Yeah, because nobody's worried about them, and half of their catches are wide open. And none of them deep balls. None of them deep balls. So I urge y'all, when y'all start talking about these college quarterbacks, go watch the film and get mean. I challenge all y'all. Whatever college quarterback you like, go watch the film. Try to bury him. Try to bury him. And I got to use this language because it's the only way some of y'all will understand. Try to hate on him. What I mean by that, go nitpick everything. Don't show glad emotion from a touchdown. What did he do wrong in that? Was the ball placement good? Was it this and that? Was it that? Go nitpick everybody. You might start recognizing some patterns. And then ask yourself, would this pattern survive in the NFL? Almost every single one of y'all might come up with a different quarterback. Heck, some of y'all who like Tai Simpson right now might come up with a different quarterback if you do that. But do that. One of the biggest issues we've always had is fanning out for somebody and having their back. They're the guy. Man, go look at the film and start go nitpick. Go nitpick. And then start putting all the factors together. How many years of college starts this person have? 4 years? Oh, and they're still having this trend that I'm noticing now. You might notice stuff nobody notices because you're nitpicking everything, and you'll start seeing trends. But remember, equate it to the NFL. Would that ride in the NFL? Could that have long-term success, sustainable success in the NFL? And if they've been a 4 or 5 year, 4-year starter, that's an issue. 3-year starter, it's a concern. 2-year starter, keep my eye on it. 1-year starter, it's all right. I believe that can be worked out. That's how you have to look at it. It's only fair. It's only fair. And I'm sorry, I see the kid flaws too. He ain't a perfect player, Tai Simpson. But I see a lot. And after 15 starts, I can only imagine if he went back to Alabama. See, that's the problem. Y'all would want him to go back to Alabama. And if he takes that next leap, win a Heisman, and becomes the #1 prospect, we want Tai. Now all of a sudden you want him. It's a risk, but sometimes you got to gamble on that before it happens. You have to see it before it happens. Nobody in their mama in their right mind can tell me his trajectory ain't headed in the right direction. You can't. His intangibles and process of the field is elite. Well, see, it's hard to talk about this part of it, like his processing. It's the one area that no one wants to talk about it much or evaluate it, because they feel like you have to have experience of playing the position, recognizing the defenses, understanding the play call. You need all of this to really be able to evaluate somebody's ability to process. So a lot of people don't even have that conversation. Let me give y'all the truth. I'm not an expert, obviously. I haven't played the quarterback position. I've studied it, and not extensively. I've studied it very well, though. And I'm going to continue to study. So maybe 2, 3, 4 years from now, I can feel like I've studied it extensively and I'm confident in what I'm seeing, or this and that, and this. But I haven't yet. I've done a lot of work, though, and I'm headed there. So identifying defenses and this and that and that and this, I'm getting so much better at it. The more I know, the more I understand of the game. But I'm not too proud to tell y'all right now, I actually lean on 3 to 4 different people that break down film, and I compare their breakdowns to give me an even better understanding. And when I start seeing common things that they notice, those things get locked in on me starting to identify them. And I've already done that homework with Tai Simpson. And based off of the experts, this kid can process at a very high level pre and post snap, giving himself outs. You know how Kurt Warner always said, this Miami offense confuses me. It's like they never have a backup plan. Where's the contingency plan? I've seen and watched people who break it down identify how Tai Simpson creates his own backup plan pre-snap on the field. And makes all the sense in the world. One guy broke down a play where he showed, look, you can tell Tai Simpson is noting that the safety is veering down right here. He gives a check on the right side to his slot guy who's running a crosser right into that area, just in case the blitz is coming. That's going to be an open area. He literally is checking his guy into that. He's calling his protections to make sure they pick that up just in case it happens. Then another play where the outside linebacker had inside leverage, but on the slot receiver, but had inside leverage, and Tai recognizes it pre-snap and also shifts his line to the right just in case that's a blindside blitz. Not blindside, but just in case it's a blitz. And sure enough, height the ball, it was a blitz, but the whole line shifting right and it caused the traffic, giving him time to actually tight end that he did pre-snap tell you're going to be a hot if that comes. And hit him for the little 5-7 yard pass right where the guy vacated, created the time because the tight end was blocking and then went out there and sat there. He blocked and noticed the blitz and went, and Tai called the whole thing from the line of scrimmage. So, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't that weak stuff we've been seeing where there's 8 in the box, all the receivers, tight ends, and quarterback tap the helmet. That's elementary to me. We all tap in the helmet because we see 8 in the box, which means the play we call, we're not going to do. We're going to do the one that we know is opposite of this if we see 8 in the box. That ain't audible. It's an audible. Let me stop. It's an audible, but it's a built-in audible. Not designing the play and where your contingencies can go on the field. That's Peyton Manning work. So you show me your Taylor Green running and all of that, but ain't nobody doing this stuff at the line of scrimmage. Nobody doing this stuff. So you think I'm just supposed to be like, Tai Simpson? I'm intrigued. I want I want a guy that if he can't move the best, if he can't do, but he can process and make something out of nothing. He can create his play on the field. But it's one of the areas that goes the most untalked about because nobody's doing it anymore. nobody's doing it anymore. Based off of many of y'all logic, Peyton Manning can be in this draft and you wouldn't want him. Think about that. Think about that. Is Peyton Manning mobile? No. Does he have a cannon of an arm? Never did. I mean, it was great. It was good. But especially not after it started getting the injuries. Man, if you look at the intangibles and Peyton Manning was coming out right now, y'all be like, oh, you're a 6th-round pick. Y'all be calling Peyton Manning a 6th-round pick, man. Because the one thing you ain't evaluating is his ability to pre-snap, post-snap, and orchestrate on the field. It's one of the, that's my point. Nobody talk about that no more because we've gotten so far away from that. Y'all think Brady be hating when he be doing these little these little podcasts where he say, these guys, the league doesn't require a quarterback to be responsible for themselves anymore. They don't call their protections. They don't make life easier for their receivers. They don't like when I hear the greats talk about, sometimes we call a play and the defense they're in, yeah, this play is going to work. But when we're at the, like I've heard Peyton Manning and Tom Brady say this. They could call a play, go to the line of scrimmage, look at the defense to see if they need to get out of it just in case the defense is all over it. And they'll say, oh, no, they're in a perfect defense for this play to work. But they won't hike the ball. The first thing that goes through their mind is, is there a play that can get more? Do you think anybody doing that now? Do you think anybody's doing that in the NFL right now? Yeah, I'm sorry. You can't name the quarterback that's doing it right now. I don't even think the veterans doing it, like Stafford and all of them. Rodgers still would do it. So when I get somebody who already has the basics of calling protections and being able to have a contingency, I could see an upside on even his cerebral growth. Bro, you say that you're not favoring no quarterback, but Simpson is the only one you talk about. Again, you got to pay attention to my streams. I have zero vested interest in any quarterback. But as I've done some work, and again, I still got work to do on some other guys. But as I've done work on some of these guys, Tai Simpson's the only one that stands out so far. You want to know another little caveat? Mendoza doesn't even stand out very much when I look at the film. Somebody said this recently, and I went and checked it out, and I was like, man, they got a point. You take away some of them back shoulder throws, now you can't take them away because he executed them, but some of those are 50-50 in the corners in the NFL. You're not going to be throwing back shoulders as much as you think. Because the way I saw it on film, a lot of those back shoulder throws are Hail Marys. I mean, go look at the national championship game. 4 fourth downs, he had to throw them. Converted all 4. Very good. But in the NFL, you're going to have much better sound corners picking some of those off. One of them almost got picked, but it was jungled and the receiver got it. I'm going to be quite honest with you. When I look at the intangibles with Mendoza, high energy, playmaker, but the intangibles, solid. But they're not world beating. They're not world beating. But the kid has a drive. He works hard. He has the right mentality, the right attitude to be great. And that's why he's going to be high. And I would draft him at number 1 overall. But from an intangible standpoint, boy, he better hope that translates to the NFL. And in his work ethic and stuff, it should with the right coach and stuff. But I say all that to say this. I'm an intangible junkie. Don't just give me the hype of the success you had in college. Because the one thing from an evaluation standpoint that has never failed has been intangibles. You've had number one overall prospects that you said could be a Hall of Famer one day be busts. You've had 6th round players become the GOATs. Why do people always get the quarterback position wrong more than they get right? Is because they don't pay attention to the intangibles. They only pay attention to the success they had in college. Every week he got 5 touchdowns. What are you talking about? He's good, but he only get 2 or 3 a week. You're not even looking at the intangibles. You're just looking at them stats. Oh, man. Let's see, what time is it? Am I running late? I sure am. All right, y'all. We're going to end it right there. I'm going to come back later because I got a lot to talk about. I'm over my time, so we're going to get back into more of this later. And you know what? Maybe we look at some film together. Maybe we look at some of these things I'm talking about together, and maybe we take a look at Jalen Green, Drew Aller, and all of them. Maybe that's what we do. We start cracking the film. Maybe that's what we do. And we start breaking it down and we start looking at the things we love and the things we don't love. So stay tuned right here to TD Phins Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. We'll break it all down. All right? We'll get into it. I'll see y'all later today. I'm not done because I got a lot more to go through. I will see y'all later today, but fins up no matter what. We're headed in the right direction because a better future is ahead. All right, man. I see the super chats. Drew Aller is the one I like. All right, we're going to take a look. Nah, forget Beck. He's banned from Miami. Broke us. What's going on, TD? Love the vids as always. Keep up the great work, TD. Fins up. Thank y'all for donating. I love y'all. I'll see y'all later. Peace. I am out.